Well, what's going to be today, looks like the battery's going down. It's what I call one of my wavy videos. This is a camera I got on eBay. It's it's an Olympus C5060. It's still got the ticket on it. Well, it was in the box and I put it on. And what I want to show you is there's not a mark on it, not even on the lid, the lens cap, not a scratch on it, not a scratch on the top, not a scratch on the back, and no marks on the bottom. I think this is probably new. And the funny thing about it, I bought it and it came with an underwater housing, and that's in good condition. It even came with a leather case. I had 3 boxes. I think I paid 60 quid for the whole 3, which means the camera probably only stands me in at about 20 quid. And it had one original Olympus battery, one 1 gig card. I put my own 2 gig cards in. The 1 gig has been put away. I've got one Olympus battery that looks hardly used, and some rubbish ones, aftermarket ones that are always no good anyway. That's all the books that went with it. And if you have a look, it's all there. Every single book is there, every single manual, because I've been through them. All the bonus software. The only thing it didn't have was a USB lead. Lucky I had one for a camera that didn't, I think might have been broken, I don't remember. And it was exactly the right fit. That's the box. It's all in there, the charger, the remote, which is zipped up into that little bag. Whoever had it looked after it, didn't use it anyway. That's the charger, and I took the charger out and there's not even any scratches on the charger dock, so I don't think this camera was used very much at all. There's a strap in there. It's a used strap. It didn't have a camera strap. It's one that was on the case, but it was quite dirty. I've got my own camera strap in there. In there's the leads, all the other leads that are in there. There is the new Olympus battery. There isn't a mark on it. I don't think it was used more than a couple of times. And the original box. And what it is today is, the talk is, I suppose today, is second-hand digital cameras, or digital cameras down the crapper. And what that's referring to is that when they started making digital cameras, they still do it today, they kept putting the megapixels up to make them look dated. So a lot of people would use the camera for about a year, and if they were like this person, who probably used it for a couple of holidays, and they would probably just wanted an upgrade because it was only a 5 meg. But to be honest with you, I've taken pictures of cameras 5 meg upwards, and they don't make a slightest bit of difference. Whether you have a 20, when you put it on your software, the file comes out at about 4 or 5 megapixels, which is exactly what this one comes out with. So most of the megapixels, as I said before in my other video, are binned by the camera. It doesn't even... And also you get more, the more megapixels, the more noise you get. So it doesn't necessarily mean a 15 meg is much better than a 5. It might be a little bit better, but when you blow it up, the image completely blurs out due to aggressive noise filtering that's needed in high megapixel sensors, and it looks like mush. Well, you don't tend to get that so much with this sort of older cameras so much. This has a magnesium alloy body on it, And if you can see on front of the window there, there's not a scratch on it. Well, I don't think it's ever been on a tripod. No scratches. The plastic that you look through, which is the viewfinder, there's not one scratch on that, and that thing gets scratched by your fingers. It even got the original sheet it was wrapped in, and I got the waterproof housing as well. So that's one of my suggestions, is if you can get a good used camera to practice on, or if you're going to do a college course, it's not necessarily high megapixels. If your camera will shoot RAW, this shoots RAW and you get a 7 megapixel image. That works quite well, and but it does take, it's not very quick to write to the card. I mean, I find using JPEG's good enough for that. And so that's an introduction into the Olympus 5060. And when you buy cameras, sometimes it's worth buying a second-hand camera, which I would call a high unit price, rather than to go out and buy a cheap camera that's got more megapixels. Because a lot of people get, oh, I better get this other camera. I've been offered a camera 50 quid, and it was hundreds new, but it's only a 5 or an 8 meg. Well, they're 16 now, or 20. I'll go and buy it. But you may not find the results are better than something like this, which had a very high unit cost and is built to a very high standard. So it's worth looking around at second-hand cameras, and I find the second-hand more professional models like this one are much better than buying very often a cheap new high megapixel camera. As I say, I call this camera down the crapper. In other words, a lot of people don't want to use a camera because it's not such a high megapixel, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a useful camera. And you can buy a new camera with higher megapixels, but I doubt you would get the build quality of that, even in an expensive new one today. I'm using the Nikon P70-100 here, and this has got a fairly high build quality, but it's all plastic, whereas this one's magnesium alloy, so it depends what you want. Anyway, short video, and I hope that that you look on the internet and have a look and see what cameras are out there. There's some bargains to be had on the high end, older high end, and it's worth taking a look. If it's boxed and it's clean and it comes with all the paperwork, usually if it comes with all the paperwork, it means it's been looked after, and it comes with all its packaging and bags. It usually means it's been looked after, and I've usually found the tidier the package looks, very often the contents are good and were looked after. So bye bye, enjoy this video from the Nut House, or as I call it, video.